Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jam Vishnupad Brahmans Parivraj Gacharya Sta Darshadish Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Granthra Srimad Bhagwatam Ki Jai Nidai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text number 13. Adha Bombir Dija Sreshta Varnashrama Vibhagashaha Sanustistasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam Adha Bombir Dija Sreshta Varnashrama Vibhagasaha Sanustistasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Adha Bombir Dija Sreshta Varnashrama Vibhagasaha Sanustistasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Bombir Dija Sreshta Varnashrama Vibhagasaha Sanustistasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead. Please repeat the translation. O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead. Purport. Human society all over the world is divided into 4 castes and 4 orders of life. The 4 castes are the intelligent caste, the martial caste, the productive caste, and the laborer caste. These castes are classified in terms of one's work and qualification and not by birth. Then again, there are 4 orders of life, namely the student life, the householder's life, the retired, and the devotional life. In the best interest of human society, there must be such divisions of life. Otherwise, no social institution can grow in a healthy state. And in each and every one of the above mentioned divisions of life, the aim must be to please the supreme authority of the personality of Godhead. This institutional function of human society is known as the system of Varnashrama Dharma, which is quite natural for the civilized life. The Varnashrama institution is constructed to enable one to realize the absolute truth. It is not for artificial domination of one's division over another. When the aim of life, which is realization of the absolute truth, is missed by too much attachment for indriya preeti or sense gratification, as already discussed herein before, the institution of the Varnashrama is utilized by selfish man to pose an artificial predominance over the weaker section. In the Kali Yuga, or in the age of quarrel, this artificial predominance is already current. But the saner section of the people know it well that the division of castes and orders of life are meant for smooth social intercourse and high thinking self realization, and not for any other purpose. Here in the statement of Bhagwatam is that the highest aim of life or the highest perfection of the institution of the Varnashrama Dharma is to cooperate jointly for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.13. This is the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshururmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nidinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Bacharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Bhasha Dadejadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So we are continuing reading from the Srimad Bhagwatam. So this verse start with Atha Pumbir Duja Sreshta Atha. So, or also like therefore, it means it's the continuation of something which has been discussed previously. So what has been discussed previously? In the previous verse it was said, Pashyanti Atmani Chatmanam Bhaktya Sruta Grahitaya. So one can realize the absolute truth. That was the discussion. Bhaktya Sruta Grahitaya, by bhakti. Therefore, Atha Pumbi Duja Sreshta. Duja Sreshta means addressed to the best among the twice born, Duja. So here it is said in this verse, Swanu Tistasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Sanu Tistasya means one's own occupational duty. Swa. Swa Anutistasya. Swa means own, one's own. Anutistasya means prescribed. Dharmasya. Dharmasya means the occupational duties. So one's occupational duties, which is Varnashrama system. So there is 4 Varnas, 4 ashramas. So if somebody does the prescribed duties according to their Varna and ashrama, then he can achieve, what he can achieve? Some siddhir. He can attain the siddhi, perfection. And what is considered as perfection is samsiddhir haritoshanam. To please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is considered as the samsiddhi, perfection, which can be attained by dharmasya. What dharmasya? Swanutistasya dharmasya, your own prescribed duties. And what are those duties? That has been explained as Varnashrama Vibhagasa, Varnashram system. So this is what is being said here. O best among the twice born, therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste division and orders of life. And that is to please the personality of Godhead. So now this is very interesting that whenever, unfortunately, when people hear about this Varnashram system, it has been seen as some infamous caste system. It has got some negative connotation. People say, oh, this Bhagavad Gita profess the division, the caste system, discrimination. This is how it has been portrayed, unfortunately, but that is not what is the real thing which has been described in Bhagavad Gita or in the Bhagwatam anywhere. So let us spend some time to understand what is this Varnashram system, and then the purpose has been explained as Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. So this Varnashram system is designed to provide a social structure for spiritual advancement. So there is Varnas and the Ashramas. So Varna means the 4 social order, and Ashram means the 4 spiritual orders. That is the design. And Krishna says, Prabhupada also quoted here, 4.13, Chaturvanyam Maya Srashtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So this is Krishna's creation, Maya Srashtam. In one of the purport in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada also says this. Prabhupada says, the institution of 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas is confirmed herewith to be Bhagavat Rachita. Bhagavat Rachita means Maya Srashtam. These are designed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is Krishna's creation. It is not created by some mortal beings, so that there is a flaw in this. Like the modern minds, they see, oh, this is a kind of a caste system or some kind of a discrimination. No. It is a very, very scientific system. So what is this Varna? They are designed. So Varna is designed, which is like the social order. So it provides one's material needs in the least complicated and the most harmonious way, according to one's psychophysical nature. That's the whole idea of this Varna division. Different people, different psychophysical nature. So it is not caste system. It is actually the human types. So there are 4 human types. Right? What are the 4 human types? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. Prabhupada writes in one place, very nicely Prabhupada says this. Prabhupada says, anything created by the Lord cannot be closed or covered. The divisions of Varnas and Ashramas will continue to exist either in their original form or in degraded form. But because they are created by the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they cannot be extinguished. They are like the sun, a creation of God, and therefore will remain either covered by clouds or in a clear sky. The sun will continue to exist. Now this is very important to understand. Prabhupada is using the example. The sun. It will be there. Sometime it is clouded, sometime it is in a clear sky. But in some form or other, sun will be there. In the same way, this Varnashram system exists in the society. Whether this modern people, they kind of criticize or condemn the system, but still they also follow the system. So what our scriptural language is? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. And some people, due to whatever, some propaganda, they just put some negative connotation. Oh, Shudra. Shudra is like seen as some low class person or some outcast or rejected kind of person. But that was never the understanding in the scriptures. Let us understand in the modern terms what is this Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra and Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. As Prabhupada is saying, it cannot be, it will be there, it cannot be mitigated. It will continue in some form or other. So, what is Brahmana? Brahmana is intellectual class, Prabhupada says. Now think of as any modern system, say a corporate. In a corporate there is always a Brahmana class, which is equivalent to what? R&D. That requires a rigorous study and hours and hours, they read, study and all of that. That is Brahmana class. So it is human type. Not everybody can sit whole day and keep reading and doing all that. But some people can do that. They are Brahmanas. Brahmana job has been given in the scriptures as Yajan, Patan, Dana, Pratigraha. So Patan, they have to do a lot of studies and all of that. So it is there in the modern system also, this Brahmanical class, intellectual class. Then Kshatriya class. Prabhupada says the martial caste. What is this Kshatriya class? This is administration, justice, protection, management. You cannot avoid all that. In any system, there has to be the justice, there has to be the protection of the people, protection of the policies, and so many other rights and like that. Right? So it is also there. So Brahmanas are there, Kshatriyas are there, Vaishya. Prabhupada says they producers or mercantile. In the modern terminology, it is all business. Right? So in any corporate, there is people, those who are into business, they have to bring the business, they have to produce the money to run the show. Right? So this is there. So Vaishyas are there, and Shudras. What are the Shudras? They're all executors. So in modern language, you call them executors. As soon as you say, oh, you're executive head or executor, it sounds nice. But you say, oh, you're Shudra, then immediately you feel bad, offended. See how it is all propaganda. The Shudra has been connoted like very negative or something like that. But all this, people are there in this modern system also. So this is social order. And Prabhupada is saying it has to be there to run the show. And Prabhupada also compares the system like the complete body. Brahmanas are like the head, Kshatriyas are the arms, and the Vaishyas are the belly, and the Shudras are the leg. And Prabhupada explains, clarifies that you cannot say that, oh, the Brahmana is important, brain is more important, so I don't need the legs. So cut the legs. You cannot. It might be more important, brain might be more important, but then you need the legs also to run or to function like that. So this is Varna system. So it is kind of, a system has been created because we are here in this material world. We require some needs. So Krishna says, okay, this is the system. Through the system, you will fulfill all your material needs in a most harmonized way. Don't, complex your life unnecessarily. Follow the system. You understand this is your human type, and accordingly you engage in that kind of work. So you are happy, and then people around you also are happy. Otherwise, you do some other work, you are not happy, and you make others' life also miserable. So Krishna has created a system to function in a harmonized way. Okay, so this is Varnash. And then Ashram. Ashram is also been created. Ashram is a spiritual order. It is designed very scientifically. It provides a time-wise progression in one's spiritual life, in a spiritual commitment. So let us understand this also. So Brahmachari, Grastha, Vanprastha, and Sannyas. Now at the Brahmacharya life, what he has to do? To learn. Student life, right? So Brahmachari has to learn. Grastha to earn, and then Vanprastha to turn towards, more focus towards spiritual life. So Brahmachari to earn, Brahmachari to learn, Grastha to earn, Vanprastha to turn from material engagements to more of spiritual engagement. And then Sannyas to burn. Burn means like completely you just exhaust yourself in devotional service. Right? So this is time-wise progression in the spiritual commitment. So you learn first and then you earn also. And of course not earn for the sense gratification, but use that earning in the service of the Lord. That is how you serve the Lord. So the purpose of all of this is, as it is said in the Vishnu Purana also, Varnashrama Charvata Purushena Parapaman Vishnu Aradhyate Panta Nanyat Tattosha Karanam. So the purpose of this Varnashram system is Vishnu Aradhyate Panta, to serve the Supreme Lord. So in different times you serve differently. As a student you serve differently. As a household you serve differently. And then gradually it keep increasing, and then Vanprastha still you serve, and Sannyasi also you serve. So this is the system. And the system has been created, as Krishna says, Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. So it is based on, it is not a birthright claim that the son of a Brahmana will become a Brahmana. Prabhupada gives the example. Prabhupada asks this question. Can a son of a doctor can become a doctor? Yes or no? Answer is yes, but it requires training. Not just because I am a son of a doctor, I am also a doctor. Anybody can become doctor, but it requires training. So it is not a birthright claim, it is training. So Prabhupada says here, Guna means the quality, and karma means the activity. So based on this guna and karma, the system has been designed, and it has been a very, very scientific system. It requires. So all these negative connotations and so many other things that people talk about, that it's a wrong description of a very scientific, created by God system, right? There is no flaw in this. You cannot avoid this. And then purpose is very, very clear. What is the purpose? Yes, samsiddhir haritoshanam. So purpose is spiritual advancement through a perfect social structure. Right. Now, when we read the Bhagwatam, we understand, okay, this is the system and this is how people should live their life, because we are all social beings. So you have to win the society, there has to be social structure, there has to be spiritual structure, and all of that is important to follow all of that. Right. But now what is happening in this modern age, unfortunately, there is no system, the system doesn't exist. There's no system which helps you to identify what is your guna and what is your karma. There's no way, there's no training, there's no system exists which will tell, okay, this person is like a Brahmana, Kshatriya, and that should be their karma. Practically speaking, everybody in this modern age, because there is no training, everybody is Shudra. And it is confirmed in the scriptures. Janmana jayate Shudra, samskarat bhavedvaja. By birth, everybody is Shudra only. But samskarat bhavedvaja. By training, he can become the Brahmana. But in modern age, there is no training. So somebody is born a Shudra, he will continue to remain Shudra only. And then his mindset, his thought process, and then their activities are also that of the Shudra. What is the Shudra mentality? Prominently. What the Shudra does? Mindset. Shudras are only interested in sense gratification. Shudra doesn't think, oh, I should read Bhagavad Gita, should understand what is the purpose of life. He can't think. He can't even think, oh no, I should, fight for the justice, I should protect the people, I cannot tolerate this justice. They cannot even produce the money also. Somehow just manage little bit some work, and then let us just engage in sense gratification. Now in this modern age, practically everybody is driven by sense gratification. Right, and their work is also sense gratification. And that has resulted in what? Dissatisfaction on the individual level. See, the nature of sense gratification like that. We keep reading and hearing. You can never be satisfied by sense gratification. It is like pouring the butter into the fire, thinking that now the fire will be satisfied. It will demand more and more and more. This is the nature of satisfaction. The Bhagwatam, Prahlad Maharaj gives the example. What is that example for sense gratification? Anybody remembers? Very apt example. It is like itching. Itching sensation is there. Try to itch that, okay, let me satisfy. But it demands more and more. More and more you feel that itching sense is in this one. Right? So this sense gratification cannot satisfy. And this modern age, people are not trained. Practically everybody is Shudra, result in dissatisfaction on individual level. Number one. Then there is chaos on the social level. There is no system. Everybody sense gratification, competing that I should get more so that I can enjoy more. Cutthroat competition, and there is unrest in the society, and all the cheating, looting, this is going on. Right? This has become a norm in the modern society. So chaos on the social level, and even worst, the purpose of human life is defeated. And that purpose is spiritual advancement. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. See, as soon as anyone try to deny this scientific system, and there's no proper training as Krishna has designed this, then it results in this dissatisfaction, chaos, and then purpose is defeated. This is what is happening. Right. So now unfortunately we have come to this point where there's no training. Nobody is trained as Brahmana. Prabhupada actually, when he was talking, Prabhupada says, I started this movement to create Brahmanas. Right? But now we need to understand this Brahmana and Krishna consciousness. Brahmana is not that Smarth Brahmana or caste Brahmana, that kind of Brahmana. Brahmana means, when Prabhupada says Brahmana means the high class gentleman, not like some caste Brahmana. Oh, we are Brahmanas and we don't follow anything, but still we remain Brahmanas. Not that kind of thing. Prabhupada's point was that I have come to make you into the first class gentleman. Right. So in this modern age, this system will not work. It doesn't exist. What to do then? What is the solution? Let us see this. So Prabhupada says here, human society means the society which is making progress towards spiritual realization. Advancement does not mean creating material necessities unnecessarily and thus wasting human energy in aggravation of so-called material comforts. That is not the advancement. Advancement means spiritual advancement. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the solution. What's the solution? What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says? Famous verse. These are the verses everybody should know. You know also, but you know only the last line. All of you know that Gopi Bhartu Padkamali or Das and Dasa Anudas. That is the last line. What are the three first lines? Naham Vipro, Nacha Narapatir, Napi Vaishyo na Shudro. That is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Naham Vipro. I am not a Brahmana. Na Narapatir. I am not a Kshatriya. Na Vipro. Na Shudra. I am not a Vaishya. I am not a Shudra. Naham Varni Nacha Grahapatir. Na Vanasto Yatirva. I am not all this Brahmachari or nothing I am. Krintu Prodyan Nikhil Paramanandan Purnamratab there. Gopi Bharatur Padgamalayor Das and Das and Dasa Anudas. So I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, but what I am? Gopi Bharatu. Who is Gopi Bharatu? Krishna. Gopi Bharatu means maintainer of the gopis. Krishna. I am Gopi Bharatu Das and Das and Dasa Anudas. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. So this is the solution given to us. Right? So we are not trying to Prabhupada say that we are not trying to create all this. It will not work in this modern age. But what Prabhupada is creating is this, that we are the servants of Krishna. So this is first class Brahmana. Prabhupada says in one place, a Vaishnava is a first class Brahmana. Alright. Who is a Brahmana in the scriptures? A Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. One who knows the Brahman. But there is possibility that Brahmana may not know about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He might know only Brahman. But Vaishnava is a perfect Brahmana, naturally, automatically. Right. And that is why Prabhupada is saying that I come here to make you a Brahmana. Means you become a Vaishnava, you become automatically a Brahmana, first class. And then purpose is very simple, as it is said here, Samsiddhir Harito Oshanam, satisfying the Supreme Lord. Why we should satisfy the Supreme Lord? Because there is no other way that you can satisfy anybody else in this world. You can only satisfy Krishna. Otherwise, how much ever you try to satisfy your husband, your wife, your kids, your family, your relatives, your friends or anyone, nobody will be satisfied, nor you nor they. They will be complaining at the end of the day, what did you do for us? And then you will be wondering, like, I have done everything for you only, and now this is what I am hearing. So the reality is, we cannot satisfy anyone in this material world. But Krishna is so kind, so merciful, he gets satisfied. How he gets satisfied? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakti aprayachat. Just offer little patram pushpam phalam. And Krishna says, I will accept. Krishna is satisfied. So that is why the purpose of life should be samsiddhir harito oshanam. Whatever we do, whatever we think, whatever we eat, yat karosi, yad asnasi, yad johosi, dadasi, yat tapashyasi kaunteya, tat kuru smadharmanam. Offer to Krishna, try to satisfy Krishna. And what happens when you try to satisfy Krishna? Yasmin tuste, jagat tusta. If Krishna is satisfied, everything, whole world, everyone is satisfied. Right? Prabhupada quotes this story of famous story. Anybody remembers what story? Yasmin Tushta Jagat Tushta. What the story comes to your mind? Famous story. What is that? Yasmin Tushta Jagat Tushta, famous story. Yes, from Mahabharata. So Durvasa Muni, he came with his thousands of disciples, right? It was all manipulated by Duryodhana. And he came at the time when all these Pandavas has taken their meal. And Draupadi was having that Akshapatra pot, which can supply unlimited food, provided she has not taken her meal. But as per the plan of Duryodhana, they came, and then we all know the story that how Draupadi and all these Pandavas in that helpless situation, being naturally being a devotee, they just started remembering, calling out Krishna. And Krishna says, Name Bhaktya Pranashyati. That is Krishna's promise, that I'll protect my devotees. Immediately Krishna comes there. And we know that how Krishna asked that, give me something to eat. And then she found one small grain stuck on the pot. And Krishna ate just one grain, which was offered with love and devotion. Yasmin Tushte, Krishna was satisfied. Jagat Tushta. All this Durvasa and company, thousands of disciples, they all felt so full. They got satisfied. Right? So that is the purpose of all this Varnashrama system, or even in Krishna consciousness also. Many times we are not careful. We might forget what is the main focus, why we are here. Satisfy Krishna. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. We cannot satisfy the people around. Even in the devotee community, we try to serve the Vaishnavas in whatever best capacity. But then there can be always feedback. And you might feel bad, oh my God, like I did like 4 hours cooking and now he's saying that the salt is not correct. What is this? Can't you eat? Is this a little less salt? So it's easy to satisfy Krishna than satisfy others. Of course, we should try to satisfy the devotees also. That is also a principle. But we should be very, very clear. We should be very focused that purpose is Samsiddhir Haritoshnam. No matter whatever you are a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, whatever nature we have, whatever human type we are, we should try to satisfy Krishna. Brahmanas can satisfy Krishna. We have many examples. Kardama Muni's example Prabhupada uses. He was a perfect Brahmana. He was engaged in satisfying Krishna. We have another example of Brahmanas. Though they are the Brahmanas, but they miss the principle, which is Samsiddhir Haritoshnam. What is that? In the Bhagwatam 10th canto. Yes, Brahmana Patni's story. When Krishna Balaram was in the forest, they asked that, okay, we are feeling hungry, the Brahmanas are engaged in making arrangements for sacrifice. Go and ask the food. These friends goes and they say, oh no, it is meant for the Lord. So they miss to understand who is the Lord. The purpose is to satisfy Krishna. Right? So like that. The similar story comes in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's this thing also past time, right? When one Brahmana came and he was staying in Jagannath Mishra's house, a very staunch Brahmana, and then he personally prepared the meals by his own hand and then offered to the Lord. When he was offering, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a small baby that time. He came crawling and he ate while he was with the closed eyes, chanting the mantras, ringing the bell. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and ate. And when he opened the eyes, he said, oh my God, this child has made it juta. He was very upset, very disappointed. And when it happened, it repeated 3 times. So morning to evening, he's cooking only. He couldn't eat. And then at the end, he started crying literally, like, what is this? My whole day is gone. I couldn't even eat this little grain. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed, out of his compassion, he showed the darshan. What is this? You are calling me every time to come and eat, and I'm coming eating, and then you are now crying. Right? So that's the purpose. So these Brahmanas in the Bhagwatam 10th canto, they missed Samsiddhir Haritoshnam, wherein the Brahmana Patnis, though they were not like very scholarly or something, but they knew. So as a Brahmana, we should satisfy the Lord, Samsiddhir Haritoshnam. As a Kshatriya, we should satisfy the Lord. Any examples of Kshatriya who satisfying the Lord? So many examples. Arjuna number 1. Right? He didn't want to fight. Prabhupada was saying in one of the lecture that Arjuna, on the basis of some morality or something, he says, I'll not fight. Prabhupada, this is sense gratification. because I is the center. I don't want to fight. There is no consideration of I, what you want, what I want. In Krishna consciousness, what Krishna want. That's the principle. Krishna wants to kill your family members, kill. He killed by his martial abilities, and Krishna was satisfied. So Kshatriya satisfied, right? And of course Bhishma and all that examples are there. And then Prabhupada also said, like, it's ethical or it's violence or non-violence. Principle is to satisfy Krishna. People say ahimsa paramo dharma. Non-violence is the highest religion. But it is not the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Highest religion is mamekam sharanam braja. Surrender to Krishna, whatever Krishna says, do that. Satisfy Krishna. So it is not violence or non-violence, morality or immorality. No, we should be moral. Prabhupada quote the example of gopis. It might look very immoral, like, young girls in the dead of the night going out, dancing with some boy, and like that. Socially it is not accepted. But Prabhupada said that is the highest level of devotional service. They are going to satisfy Krishna. They are decorating themselves to satisfy Krishna. If we look good, we look beautiful, decorated, then Krishna will be very pleased to look at us. That's the consciousness. Unlike in this material world, when people do all this painting, the idea is to become the center of attraction. That I should look good, everybody should look at me. But when the gopis, they are decorating, their consciousness is Krishna will look at us. When we look beautiful, Krishna will be pleased. It's very difficult to develop that kind of consciousness. Invariably, I comes in the center. How I am looking. Person is very conscious. Especially when they're decked up and then, you put some expensive clothing and the nice decoration, spent like few hours in the beauty parlor. And then the whole consciousness is how many people are looking at me. So, like that. And then there is a Shudra. Shudra's example. Shudra also can satisfy Krishna. What is that? Vaishya. What is the Vaishya's example? Yes, that fruit vendor is a good example. She satisfies Krishna by offering. Now take Krishna whatever you want. Like that. And then Shudra. Shudra is Shabri. Goa. Many examples are there. Like that Ramayana we are reading. Like, we see. What is that? Sandalwood pulp. Offered by whom? Kubja. She was Shudra? She was Kubja. She might be Shudra also. Yeah, so like that, the point is, samsiddhir haritoshanam, how we can satisfy Krishna. So, no matter what we are, so we all have some human type, some of us are like Brahmanical, some of us might be like Kshatriyas, or Vaishyas, or Shudras, whatever we are. The goal should be very, very clear, which is samsiddhir haritoshanam, to satisfy the Supreme Lord. That's the purpose. So this is what has been said here. Varnashrama vivagasa swanutishtasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. So whatever you keep doing your prescribed duties to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So even in Krishna consciousness also, we have some prescribed duties which comes from the spiritual master through his system, through the authorities. So there are certain prescribed duties are given, some sevas are given. So whatever seva it is, we should try to, do in the best possible way with the consciousness to satisfy Guru and Krishna. That's the purpose. Right. Okay, so these are some of the thoughts on this. Anybody has any quick question or any comment? Somebody wants to ask something or add something? Okay, if there's no questions, we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagwatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.